Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a simple modern home, which was inspired by a series of photos that I saw on Facebook quite some time ago. But I loved it so much, I wanted to build it. I knew it was going to be a bit of a challenge because it never really translates well, I feel like, to The Sims, like space-wise. The house that I saw in the photo was definitely long, and this house is definitely long as well, but it's not as narrow as what I saw on Facebook. But it worked out. I am still happy with how this house turned out. If there was one thing I wish I could have done differently, it's that I wish I cluttered out this space more. But the original video is about 2.5 to 3 hours long, so that's how long it took me to make this house, and I think towards the end of it I was just done. I just wanted to be, I just wanted this house to be done and over with. At that point I was starving, so I was just like, come on, let's get this going, I just want dinner. But anyway, I did take a few liberties in terms of changing up the space a little bit, and by changing it up I mainly mean adding a laundry room, and the bathrooms are not part of the rectangle, so this house itself isn't just one long rectangle. There's a little, spot, I guess you can call it a spot. There's a little, I can't find the best word to describe it, but you'll see later on when I add the laundry room and the bathrooms. I just felt like with the space this house was taking, or how big this house was, it did make sense to have a tiny bathroom. And so I did do that. And I really enjoy, the laundry day stuff, doing laundry in The Sims, which some people think is weird, but I enjoy it, so I really wanted to put a laundry room. But anyway, back to the build. So I do have the base here already. I struggled a little bit with like the loft area, I guess, like a balcony. I found that whenever I deleted the floors on the second floor, it would delete the entire second floor floors. But I figured it out. I did make it work. I don't know how, but I was slowly losing my patience, so I'm glad that I did. Another thing that was really annoying me, and I just realized it now, and while I was cutting, portions of the video out, was that counters just always lock to the walls, and then they grow that, I'm talking about them as if they were plants or something, but they have that little backing that whenever you put it against a wall, it has that. And so that corner counter, it really annoyed me, and what I should have done was pressed Control or Alt or whatever it was that we pressed. I can't remember it for some reason when I'm not playing the game, but whatever button it is that I press to move things around freely instead of on the blocks, I should have just pulled the counters away from the wall so that it doesn't do that. Instead, what I did was I cluttered up that area to kind of hide it, and it worked out. I'm not too happy with it, but it worked out. Another thing is, I love those dining chairs. I use them a lot, and personally I really want them. Like, I wish I could find them in real life, and I'm pretty sure somebody makes them somewhere. Excuse me, but I like them so much. I wish I had them, but we already do have a dining table, or rather a dining set, and it won't work, unfortunately, if I do get them. So if I do get them, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, and it's just gonna be a waste of money. And right now I do have to be very, very what's the word, frugal, I guess, or just very aware of how much I spend. The reason for that is because, unfortunately, I was laid off from work, and it really you know, it really made me upset. It did. I didn't see it coming. I really thought working where I did, you know, I thought I had job security in that company, and it just, you know, it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to, unfortunately. But it will be okay. I was a mess probably I probably was a mess, you know, by the time I got home after being told I was being let go. And I thought I would be a lot worse. Like, I seriously thought I'd be wallowing in whatever it was I was feeling, like in sadness, I guess, in anger. I thought it would last a lot longer than it did. I surprisingly bounced back a lot quicker than I thought. But also I think I'm glad that I bounced back that quick. I don't like wallowing in like self-pity or sadness or whatever it is. I would rather be productive, and I'm kind of, you know, like I said, I'm glad I bounced back pretty quick, because the following day I was like, okay, I'm sending out emails, I'm gonna get my resume in places, and I was just like sending my stuff out left and right, making inquiries, making calls. Unfortunately, one of the how would you call it, one of the job offerings, or rather one of the jobs I was looking at, they already hired somebody else, unfortunately, and I was looking forward to that job. But it's okay, it's probably just isn't meant for me. The same as my old job, probably just isn't meant for me. But I do have a few other inquiries that thankfully I got responses back. So fingers crossed I do find work soon, because if there's one thing really that stressed me out about, you know, being laid off, it was that I'm paying a mortgage. And it's just a scary thought, you know. My husband and I both worked so hard to get this house, and because I was laid off, you know, it would suck. It would suck if we lose the house because of that. So fingers crossed, pray for me, guys. I hope I find a good job soon. But anyway, back to the house. I'm sorry, I think I hit my mic. Speaking of mic, I noticed in my previous video, depending on what word I say, there's like a popping, like when I say peas or teas, I guess. But there is popping, and I'm sorry. Right now I am recording audio off of my headset, which is a Logitech G35. So I am saving up and waiting to you know, obviously to find work before I make any purchases that I don't necessarily need right now. Anyway, like I said, I'm saving up for a Blue Yeti microphone. I'm hoping I get a Yeti, but if I get the Snowball one, I believe that's what it's called, I'd be okay with that too. But like I said, I'm hoping to get a new mic down the road, and one of those, what do you call them? Just so that you don't hear that popping when I say certain words or do certain things. Anyway, back to the house. I do play test a couple of the things I put in this house just to make sure they all work properly. One of them is a punching bag, which I do put in this loft / a balcony area. I push it up a little closer to the railing, and it does work, so that's good. Everything else works also. If there's one weird thing I've noticed, it's that my sim when she makes food, and sometimes instead of using the counters in the kitchen, she'll use the ones in the bathrooms, both bathrooms, first and second floor, and the counters in the laundry room. So if you guys know any way to fix that, please let me know. That would be amazing. I feel like it takes way too much time for her to be moving around the house using different counters just to make her food. Also, in case you were wondering why I have my little logo in the bottom left corner of the screen, the reason for that is because this footage is from when I was live streaming. So there is a video of me under that photo. And it's just funny because I'm all sped up. So you see me doing my little like gestures or pushing my glasses up, or sometimes moving closer and or further away from the screen. And maybe one of these days I might, how would you say this? Do a video with, you know, me actually in it instead of just a voiceover, or instead of just this cute little photo. Maybe when I have a better setup, or, you know, when my game room is also not a mess. We shall see. But if you do watch my live streams, every now and then I will have my camera up. For The Sims, maybe I won't have it up because I use that footage too for my YouTube videos, but all the other games I play, most of the time I'll have my camera up. I'm sorry if I keep saying or I really try to stop myself, but I just keep saying it, and I think it's like a, there I go again. It's like a filler, you know, when I don't know what to say. Maybe I should just like take my time and figure out what I want to say first. But then there'd just be lots of silence if I do that, I feel like. But anyway, my sim in this house was my first sim, or rather my guinea pig, for the Get Famous expansion, and I love it. It's challenging, but it's fun. I didn't realize how often you had to do certain things to get your popularity up, to keep it up, because I did have my sim take a short break and her popularity went down. So my sim constantly submits like or posts stuff on her Simstagram, or like the Sims version of Twitter, I guess. I also have her donate to charity a lot just to get that up. But also every few days I'll have her do a job or a gig, whatever you want to call it, and you do see her outside right there. Anyway, I am still in love also with putting multiple, I can't talk, I'm sorry. I'm still obsessed with putting multiple plants together. I just really like the look of it. I wish I could do the same here in my house, but it may be too much work, especially if they're real. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'll mix real plants and fake plants, so long as the fake plants look real too. Because you know how some fake plants, you can just tell they're fake? I hate those. Some of them looks really good. Like I had one in my office before, which looked pretty convincing. I think someone tried to water it once and realized that they were fake. But also someone did try to water my real plants. I had like 2 jade plants in a little round pot, and someone watered that and was pretty much trying to drown them. And so I did have a sticky note that said, please don't drown me, because, you know, sometimes they do rot from the inside if there's too much water. With succulents, you know, the best thing to do is pretty much ignore them until they need to be watered, and the soil will stay wet for days, maybe even weeks, depending. So really it's just a matter of watering that soil once it's dry, like completely dry. Anyway, back to the house. I keep getting sidetracked. I'm so sorry. I really like the idea of having that big chandelier in that balcony area, but I had completely forgotten that I had a clear roof. And so I do remove that later on. I also like the idea of having a mirror kind of on your way out of the house, and my favorite mirror is there. I really need to find a new mirror to use because it's always this one or the other one that I had up before I pulled this one out. But I do love it. If there was a way for me to find something like that in real life, you know I would buy that thing instantly. But again, right now, trying to save, trying to be good with money, so might be a while. But I really do like the look of having mirrors around the house, because a lot of people say this, it does give the illusion of space. But I also heard something about like you can't have it in a way where people could look in, and I don't know if that's true or whatever, but it's The Sims. It's fine. In real life, I'll figure it out. And I think I did mention that in my previous video too, about no, I think in my previous video it was that you can't have mirrors directly at the foot of your bed or facing your bed, something like that. I also use these floors a lot. I use the brick walls a lot, and please let me know if you're sick of the brick walls, because I promise in my future builds I'll try to stop using that brick wall in particular. I did build a few houses recently, and I think one of them I used black brick instead, so at least it's different. It's a different brick, but it's still brick. I just really like it, you know? And I also really like that abstract painting I put in the front area. I use that a lot. I also really like that pop art painting, so depending on what kind of style I'm going for, I do tend to use those. The clutter in this bookcase, I was trying to make it seem like she's won a lot of awards for her music or whatever, her albums. It's the same thing for her music. She won awards for her music, because originally that's what I wanted her to be, like a pop star or something like that, but she ended up being an actress, because you can't really be a pop star on The Sims. Did you hear that beep? Sorry, someone outside is like honking their horn pretty bad. Anyway, like I said, this build took 2.5, almost 3 hours, and by the end of it, I was just like, let's go! So the bedroom is not as decorated as I wanted it to be, which you'd think out of all the rooms in someone's house, their bedroom would probably be the most cluttered space, because one, no one really sees it, and you spend a lot of time in the bedroom. Although I personally don't spend a lot of time in the bedroom. I spend a lot more time either in our family room, because that's where the TV is, or in the game room. And so I'm so thankful for our gaming seats, because when I used to work, it's so weird to have to say that, but when I used to work, my back was always killing me in the office, so I was very tempted to bring my chair over, but I was like, oh, you can't do that. You both spent so much money on this chair, you can't bring it over and potentially wreck it by doing so. But anyway, I think we're getting close to the end of this video. I do have to get better at landscaping. I feel like every now and then I'll be good and I'll actually take the time to landscape properly and make it look nice. But with this one, I was just like, I did put a few, plants on the walls, and I think that's the extent of what I did. I put trees. I didn't try to, put anything else other than that. That was just me being lazy, and I'm sorry. But feel free to put more if you'd like. This house is up on the gallery. It has been for a while now. Like most of my builds, I feel like they always end up on the gallery for a few weeks or days before the video comes out. So everything's been play tested, everything works well, except for that little counter problem where sometimes your sim may go to the laundry room or the bathrooms to prepare their meal. I believe we're about to finish with this home, so let me know what you think. Let me know of any, if you see anything that you want me to try and build for future videos. Let me know. My Instagram is down below, so you can message me on that. Look out for future videos coming up because I've had lots of time after what's happened, and I really do appreciate it. Again, for those of you watching, for those of you downloading all of my builds, thank you so much. Screenshots are here. Again, the house is up on the gallery, and so are homes that I will build in future videos. Have a great rest of your day or week or month, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.